Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to this session of how to handle rejections. So, this is going to be quite an emotional talk because I'm obsessed with dealing with fears and rejections. Because I'm a person that loves personal development, so I ponder about this question a lot. So I'm going to be very real with you in this session. So you might not like something that I say, but bitter medicine is better than things that are ineffective. So nobody likes rejection, right? I mean, I remember the first time I got a job rejection. I was like in my 20s. I really wanted this job based in Seattle. And, I went to all the round, and in the final round, they told me they just found someone else. And I remember it was kind of like a punch in the guts, and I felt like so sick. I felt like I was going to throw up, and I just felt like, personally sad, right? So I knew very well what fears of rejection does to you, and but it doesn't have to be that way. So now I have three different methods, different steps in dealing with rejection. Very logical and very effective. So the first way of dealing with rejection is that the first question I ask myself is, did I give 100%? And be honest with yourself. If you have a big project and you fail because the night before that you went out drinking or something, then you need to be just really honest with yourself. Okay? Say you did give 100% of your effort and you still fail. How should you deal with it? Then come to the second step. The second step is actually all in the mind. It's a mindset. And the mindset is now that I have this mindset, what I call play the long game. Play the long game. That means when I do something, apply for a job, start a company, start a project, I always expect failures and setback. I expect it. It's baked into my expectation. Okay? So the problem is that right now we live in this world of Facebook, social media, and what it does is that all the time it makes us believe that success is so easy. You turn on Facebook, you see that your friends have gotten a job at Uber, at Google, and it looks so easy. You all turn on Facebook, you see that some 20 years old just got a job offer, from like Nike for 6-figure, something like that, right? It makes it look so easy, makes success look instantaneous and so achievable. But I have some bad news. Sorry. In life, nothing is easy. Nothing worthwhile is easy. Okay? So if that's the case, what I do these days is that I play the long game. So let me give you a very simple example. Say you apply for a job and you think, okay, I'm going to prepare really hard for this job. I want it, and you didn't get it. Then you feel so crushed and so sad. And then you carry that sadness to your next job interview. You're so down, you carry all those insecurities. And then the next interviewer see that, they reject you. And so it's a whole vicious cycle. So what I go in is that I say, okay, let's just set the expectation that I will apply at least for maybe 30 jobs. And then those 30 jobs, 5 of them, I'll get interviews. Okay, as an example. And those 5 interviews, I will fail 4. But the first time I fail, I will be 20% closer to my goal. Second time I fail, I'll be 70% closer to my goal because I'm learning all the time. I'm learning how to present myself. I'm learning, right, how to answer questions. The third time I fail, I will be 90% closer to my goal. The fourth time, 95, and the final time, 100. I got a job. So maybe I'll be good, and maybe I only need 3 rounds of 3 different jobs interviews and I get the job. Good. That's exceptional. I expected 5, I get 3. good. So, but if you expect 5 and, at least give you some room to breathe and to be honest with yourself and don't take the attack so personally. So please play the long game, right? I mean, all the time we hear these fantastic success story. Like, for example, that the author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, now she's a billionaire. Fantastic success. But did you know that she failed so many times and she considered herself like the biggest failure? So many publishers rejected her. We don't often hear of these rejections. We only hear of the success. So in our mind, we think success is so attainable and so easy, but it isn't, right? So please prepare to battle. Because if you think success is so easy, then you don't put in enough work. If you truly think success is so hard, like that job interview, I'm going to fail 5 times, and I really want that job, so then what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to 6 months before it, I'm going to learn everything I need to know about that company, that industry, that product, their pain points, their new products. What are they going to do? I'm going to understand about the competitors, right? If I think success is so hard. And I'm going to talk to all the industry leaders I can get access to. I'm going to do all this preparation. But if in your mind you think that, everybody get these fantastic jobs, I should too, then you're not going to do that preparation. And if you don't do that preparation, then you will fail. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's my second point, is to always play the long game. And what's my third point? My third point is that I will seek to understand the rejection. Seek to understand it. Then I'll fix it and I move on. Seek to understand. Now, the thing is, when you hear rejection, you just get emotionally charged. You just get so emotional. But when you get emotional, it's the worst thing to do. Let me give you an example. I have a mentee. 2 years ago, I introduced her for an internship at LinkedIn. And, she later on, she got a call back and said, I'm sorry, from the HR person, from the HR recruiter, said, I'm sorry, it didn't work out. We found someone else. And she got so emotionally charged because she's probably in her mind was thinking, this is it. Right? She attached so much emotional baggage to it. She felt so bad. She didn't know what to say in the moment. She's like, and then, of course, that's it. She hung up. And then afterwards, she called me and said, can I call them back and beg them? I'm sorry, that's not how it works. What you should have done in that moment, if you're not emotionally charged, is that you would seek to understand why so you can improve. This is really important. You must understand the reason. Otherwise, you will never improve. Right? So when they say, I'm sorry, we found someone else, this is what I would have said. Well, thank you so much for calling me back. So many other companies don't even bother to tell. So I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. LinkedIn is a company that I really respect, and I would really like to work, for LinkedIn maybe next year or the year after that. As such, is there any advice you can give me so I can improve myself? I would truly appreciate it, and I promise I would really follow your advice. Okay? So what you're doing is that you're not blaming anything. You're very professionally thanking them, and they feel good when you thank them, because nobody likes to give you the bad news. I don't want to call you and say you didn't get the job. Nobody like that, right? So what happens is that you got to truly push your emotions aside. And if you play the long game, it's easy to push your emotions aside. You already expect to have some challenges and setback. That's fine, right? So push your emotions aside, then ask for the reason. Once you get the reasons, then you can truly improve the next time, okay? And the way to think about it is very simple, okay? If there are 100 people apply for that job, and they only pick one, and if everybody is equal, then 99% of the chances are against you. 99% of the time you will fail, right? So why should you get upset? You've done your best. Learn from it and move on. It's like you listen to the weather forecast and they say tomorrow 99% chance it will rain, and you want to go out for a bike ride, and when it rains you get really upset. Doesn't make sense. That's just how it works. Right? So go along, push your emotion aside and try to understand. And the way when you push your emotion aside, you're gonna have really clarity. Let me give you another example. One time I was applied for Google, and I went to 5 different rounds, and with 4 people I really done well, and one person I felt like she didn't really like me, right? And I got a rejection letter, and I know that they needed all 5 to agree, right? So I thought, that one lady, she probably didn't like me. But I also assume the best in people. So I'm not going to think negative. So I actually give it a few weeks. I waited like 3 weeks. I reached out to her on LinkedIn. I said, I really thank you for your time. You're so kind. Please stay in touch. If there's anything I can help in the future, just let me know. And then she actually added me back and said, hey, Lily, it was a pleasure getting to know you. Come by and have lunch, right? So it turned out she didn't hate me. Whatever reason it didn't work out, doesn't matter. Right? I've done my best. And then we actually became friends. And then she actually referred me to different departments where I have more job interviews with Google. So what I'm trying to say is, don't get so emotionally charged. Don't take it on personally. I have 3 steps. First one, to give 100% of your energy. Second step is play the long game. Expect to fail. Expect setback. And the third one is really understand why you fail. So you can learn, fix it, move on. I mean, Facebook had this famous line, right? Like, fail fast and move on. They expect to fail, but when they fail fast and they fix it and move on. So I know this is a long session, but this really comes from the bottom of my heart. And you know what? I'm not going to wish you like a smooth life with no failure, because it would such be a boring life. I wish you a life full of up and down, but for you to really learn from the down so that you appreciate the up, and that you will also climb further than you ever have been and be much more successful because of your down. Okay, so all the very best. If you have any questions for me, just ping me. I'd love to hear from you. Bye bye.